Hi, I'm Leslie,
And I'm Lynn.
and we are both shut in.
We're not shut in, we're sheltering in.
Okay, so we're sheltering in. And as Lynn and I have been talking about our experiences, we thought we would share them with
With our
you
voluntary soft
with our
shelter.
voluntary soft shelter.
Hmm.
We thought we would share some tips with you on making the most out of this time period. And with that in mind, we recognize the importance of our attitudes.
You keep stealing my lines. Our first tip is to have a positive attitude. So, we're all having to change and adjust our schedules, and it can be kind of scary and uncertain, but, let's make the best of it, like Leslie said. So, have a positive attitude. Think about this. Several years ago, I heard a study that many Americans, I cannot remember the number, many Americans hate their jobs. They hate their jobs because of either their work environment, their boss, or their coworkers, whatever reason, but they hate their jobs. This period, for those who have to now work from home, has maybe it's serving to alleviate some of that stress because number one, you don't have to sit across that coworker who you don't get along with. Number two, you don't have to, you're saving money on gas from having to commute into work. And so think about those type of things. Think about the positives that are resulting as a matter because you have to stay at home, you have to work from home. And while you're at home, there are some things that you can do to make your situation, your work situation, fun or more agreeable, more pleasant. And Leslie will talk about some of those.
So before we switch gears, I did want to say something about having this positive attitude. When we talk about having a positive attitude, it in no way invalidates or diminishes the reality and the seriousness of what we're going through,
That's
right?
true.
We recognize that these are dire times and somewhat scary. But what we're talking about are things that you and I can actually do to help us get comfortable with somewhat of a new reality,
Right.
a new normal.
Right.
So what can we control?
How can we make the best of this situation?
Absolutely.
Basically.
And you can make the best of the situation by controlling your moods. And you can control your moods by the thoughts that you have and your attitudes.
Which means that you are being appreciative. You are expressing gratitude for, like I said, for the fact that you don't have to get in your car, for the fact that you don't have to get up early. Well, you may still have to get up early, but
Right.
the fact that there are some negative features or aspects of your work environment that you don't have to bring home.
Right.
So just be grateful for those types of things.
And as you're thinking about how to work from home, for those of you that are not used to working remotely, one of the things that I've found helpful has been to have a dedicated space. Now, I recognize everybody's homes is not set up so that you have an actual home office like I do, but you can actually use a portion of your living room or dining room table, part of your kitchen table, whatever the case is. Find a way to create a workspace that's going to be free of distractions and helpful for you. It's going to be a place where you can put many of your work materials. You'll have your pens and whatever you need to do. If you're on a video chat call, you want to be prepared to take notes, but you'll also want to have everything there so you're not having to get up and down frequently to look for things. In creating that dedicated space for yourself, you also want to think about setting a routine. Setting a routine and keeping a set routine for when you're going to work. So what time are you going to get up every day? What time are you going to stop working every day? And you'll want to create some breaks in between. So it will be helpful for you to create 15 to 20-minute breaks, at which point you'll stop working and maybe you'll go outside for a walk, or you'll do a little exercise, or maybe that'll be the time that you communicate with the people if there are people in your homes. So those are things that you can do to take control. Establishing a routine is really helpful for creating some semblance of normalcy.
And for those who are parents, and you have, I'll start off with teens because I have teen boys. For those of you who have parents and you are now working from home and now you've got your teens at home, get them in the habit too. Get them in a routine and a schedule. What I did this past week is it was our first week, so we just kind of let things fly, and the boys weren't getting up until 10:30 in the morning, which was fine. But I think it really is going to be, moving forward, like Leslie suggested, a good idea for them to have a schedule just like I have a schedule. And so my husband and I are going to sit down this weekend and talk with the boys about what that looks like. They will be expected to continue to do their chores. They will be expected to do their homework or their schoolwork, and then they can do whatever else they want to do. But they're going to have a dedicated time to get up and a dedicated time, for various things. And they can, let them choose what it is they're going to do. Are they going to do chores first, or are they going to do work? It's got to be one or the other. But and then they can, be flexible in when they go out for their when they have their lunch and when they have their other flex time. And this is for kids who are going to be staying at home. I know some of the students are working, but for those that are, particularly those that are going to be in home with you, 24/7, having the schedule of what they can do is going to be helpful, and let them have that freedom to decide what they will do. You just put your foot down and let them know that there will be expectations and rules that they need to follow. And having those expectations set early on is going to be good for all of you.
Mm-hmm. Yes, because by and large, kids need structure. Mm-hmm. They're not going to ask for structure, but that's what kids need. Kids need structure and they need routine. And so the extent to which you can provide that for them, even if it's some loosely based structure, is going to be much better than no structure.
Right.
So
and for the younger kids, having a written chart, that lets them know we're going to start school at this time, we're going to take 20-minute breaks, we're going to have lunch at this time, and we're going to have snacks at this time. And while you are doing that, tell the children, while you are doing this, mommy or dad's going to be doing XYZ. So they know what's going on. They also know that they can't come in and out of your room or your workspace to just interrupt you for any reason. You are establishing a new normal, which, as Leslie said, is a new set of routines. And so if you can all agree as a family to get your work done in a specific period of time, then have a reward. That afternoon in afternoons at 2 o'clock or at 5 o'clock, whatever that's going to be, then we as a family are going to take a break from the work day, and we're going to shift into family time and family fun time, and then create some activities that you all can do together as a family.
Mm-hmm. So everyone, can benefit from being together. It's really how you set things up. And again, be creative with it. You can go online and find out what other parents are doing with their children, how they are creating fun and successful routines. Because by and large, this is not vacation time. I mean, it may feel like it's the first day of spring and it's beautiful outside, and and it's okay if you want to try that for a couple of days, but it will be important for you to set up a routine. And then the last thing I want to highlight is what? I just
that
lost
yesterday
my thought.
was the first day of spring, so that might be one thing.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking.
The other thing is, while you're thinking of it, family time is really important, especially if you're not used to family time. If you've gotten away from it, let's say. This is a good period for us to really value each other as humans, as family members. Let's bring our strengths to the table. And if you do have a positive attitude, if you do create these systems in place, then it's going to make living together in close quarters less, not a hindrance, but it'll make it more positive. It'll help you to really appreciate each other for who we all are. And so think about that. Come up with some creative games. We played Monopoly the other night for the first time in years and had so much fun. And so we're looking forward to doing more family time together. And whatever that looks like in your household, do it, because it can be so much fun. So I'm really excited about how this is bringing our family closer together. We always were close-knit, but I really feel like it can really strengthen our bonds as we go through the coming days and weeks ahead.
And instead of thinking of this as being trapped with your families, come up with a different word and just really see how you could turn it around positively so that you begin to learn some new and fun things about each other. Give each other some grace. We're going to make mistakes through all of this.
Right.
You're going to make mistakes, and let's just give ourselves permission to make those mistakes, but then learn from it. And by the same token, recognize that the people that you're living with will make some mistakes in this as well. And let's just be gracious to each other, and then that way we could be gracious to the people outside of our families.
One last thing, drink plenty of water, and as you're stocking up on stuff, please don't stock up on junk food, because a healthy immune system is what we're all looking for, right? And in order to have a healthy immune system, your system can't be healthy if you're putting lots of junk into it, sugar and all that kind of stuff. It might seem good, it might be soothing and comfort, but it's not good for your body, and we want to promote good health during this time. So plenty of fruits and veggies, please.
So we'll be talking to you a little bit more about some other ideas for healthy snacks and things that you could do so that you're not just mindlessly eating. Next time I'll also be sharing more tips on how to be effective and even productive at home, working from home. Thank you.